Hello everyone, and welcome to our second Q&A episode. We just reached 200 subs, can you believe it? It's so awesome. Isn't it awesome? Heck yeah, it is. It's awesome. And to think, we just hit 100 subs last year, and now look at us. We now reached 200. But we're still not even close to 1,000 though. You guys think we could eventually make it to 1,000 subs? I don't know, maybe. Guess we'll just have to be patient. So what are we waiting for? Are we gonna answer some questions or what? Yes, we shall. Alright, first question. The first question we got is a question from Connor, and it's a question for me, and he asks, do you like Marvel or DC better? Oh gosh. That's a tough one, because I like both. Obviously Marvel is better. Everybody knows Marvel is better. No, DC is way better. It's a lot more interesting and exciting. Marvel is also exciting. And Marvel even has more recognizable characters than DC does. Yeah, but there are also some Marvel characters who are trash, like Ironheart, Namor, Gwenpool, because apparently that's a Marvel character from the comics. What's wrong with Namor? He's a lame knockoff of Aquaman. Except he can fly, for some reason. Well, at least Marvel had a successful cinematic universe that lasted for like 15 years. I didn't see your first attempt to make something like that worked out very well, which is why you had to reboot it. Well, for your information, webhead, the Warner Bros. Were having a lot of disagreements during production of certain films, especially Zack Snyder's. Like, they didn't bother come up with an actual plan to make this universe actually work. Like, Zack Snyder was the only one who actually had a plan, but the Warner Bros. Were like, no, let's not do this. Do the other thing instead. Make it PG-13 and stuff. Well, it would seem like your company didn't know how to work together super well. Unlike mine. Well, at least DC was a lot more iconic back in the 80s, back when it has performances like Michael Keaton as Batman, Christopher Reeve as Superman, and Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. What did you guys have? Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher? Matt Salinger as Captain America? Howard the Duck? Those movies suck. Well, I had a show from the 90s, and so did the X-Men. I also have a show from the 90s. And I also have a show from the 60s. That show wasn't even that good. You take that back. Guys, enough. This is a question for me, not you guys. Now sit down. As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, I want to say DC because Batman is my favorite character of all time. But at the same time, I want to say Marvel because Stan Lee, I've always been a huge fan of Stan Lee ever since I was a kid. He was a legend, and he inspired me for a lot of things. And I really wish I could have met him, but now, unfortunately, I can't. Which sucks. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. I'm not gonna cry. So, which one do you prefer? I don't know. I really don't know. Because I like both. I equally like both. So, congratulations, Connor. You just asked probably the most difficult question in our entire Q&A series so far. Well played, Connor. Well played. DC is still better. Oh, shut up. Alright, next question. The next question is from Luis Hernandez, and it's a question for Batman. What's the question? The question is, what are your thoughts on the new Superman movie that came out this year? Don't spoil it, by the way, because I still haven't seen it. Okay, I'll try not to. I thought the film was good, for the most part. I mean, it's not the best Superman movie I've seen. I still prefer the first two Christopher Reeve movies and Man of Steel, but it was still good. However, the problem I have with it is I find it kind of hard to call this a Superman film. Or at least a film that is just titled Superman rather than Superman and his super friends or something like that, because it also features other heroes like Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and even Krypto the Superdog. And speaking of which, Krypto is a cute dog and all, but I feel like most of his scenes look kind of stupid. Yeah, I get what you mean. I I did see the clip that they released before the film came out, where Krypto was basically beating up Superman while he was injured. I thought that scene looked pretty stupid. Isn't that what dogs usually do to play with their owners? No, I wouldn't say that. Unless if they're misbehaved. But even if it is the case, Krypto, he's not an ordinary dog. He's a super dog. And he has something that other dogs do not. Superpowers? Well, yeah, but what is one of his powers? Super strength? X-ray vision. Meaning he should be able to see if a person is injured. And Krypto of all dogs should know, if a person is injured, he should help them, not play with them before helping them. Yeah, I guess you make a good point. Now, when it comes to what I think of the other characters, Mr. Terrific, I like. Guy Gardner, I thought was well acted by Nathan Fillion, but his costume looks pretty stupid. Metamorpho, I think they did a great job with his design. Hawkgirl, however, I don't like Hawkgirl. I'm sorry, but I can't take her seriously. Neither the casting or the costume. It looks laughably bad. Like, when you compare her to Hawkman from Black Adam, Hawkman looks more badass. Hawkgirl in this movie, she just looks like a teenager wearing a Halloween costume. That's how bad it is. Yeah, I'll agree. Isabella Merced wasn't the perfect choice for Hawkgirl. I bet there are tons of other characters she could have played, like Starfire. She would have been the perfect choice for Starfire.
And I bet there are tons of other actresses who would have been perfect for the role of Hawkgirl. Like maybe, I don't know, Zoe Saldana, Rebecca Ferguson, Gemma Chan even.
Overall, I thought the film was good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really want to see what happens next in Zack Snyder's story, or at least see how it's going to end, but maybe this franchise has potential. Maybe. I don't know. It depends what future films are going to be like.
Yeah, but then again, this movie was only the start. Well, technically, Creature Commandos was the start, but you get what I mean.
Alright. Next up, we have a question for all of us from AK Productions. Technically, 2 questions, but it's about the same thing. And he asks, who is your favorite X-Men character and your favorite X-Men film? For characters, easy. Wolverine, all the way. Iceman. Cyclops, I guess.
Magneto.
Deadpool. Colossus. Apocalypse. Either Nightcrawler or Beast. Shadowcat? Professor X. Cable. Now, when it comes to my favorite movies, I don't really know what my favorite X-Men movie is. I mean, I like Days of Future Past, but I wouldn't say that's my favorite. I also like First Class. Might be my favorite, I don't know. Deadpool, that's more of a 9 out of 10 for me. I've not seen Logan. And Deadpool and Wolverine, that's more of an 8.5 out of 10 for me. I'm going with X-Men Apocalypse. I don't care what anyone says. It's awesome. Days of Future Past is my pick. Deadpool. Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool 2. I'll say First Class. Logan. The first one.
The Wolverine.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. Nah, I'm just kidding. X2. I think I might need to rewatch those X-Men movies again. It's been kind of a while since I've seen them. Makes it kind of hard for me to pick a favorite. Well, might as well. Alright, next question. We have another question from Connor, but this time it's for Spider-Man. Go on. It's kind of similar to the question he asked you last time, but a lot different. And the question is, how do you feel that the Sony spin-off Spider-Man universe is finally over? Well, Connor, I am glad you asked, because I have been waiting to talk about this for quite a while, and now I finally can. I'm relieved. I'm relieved that this whole nonsense of a spin-off universe is over and done with. We don't need it. I don't know why we would need a movie about Morbius. I assume they made a movie about Madam Web so we can get to know that character more. And no, we don't need to. And Kraven? I knew that film was going to suck the moment they first announced it. So yeah, I am glad this whole thing is over. Because honestly, it was going nowhere. And you know what? If they were originally going to make a Sinister Six movie for this universe, so they can be the Avengers of this universe, I would not pay even a penny to see that. Because the Sinister Six is a super villain team, not a team of anti-heroes. Wow. That was something. Can you blame him, though? He was right. This universe is going nowhere. And they really should stop turning villains into anti-heroes. Unless it works.
I'm just glad that this whole nonsense of a Spider-Man spin-off universe is over.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Except I'm not even in any of those films. Well, except maybe Let There Be Carnage, but it doesn't count. Okay, next up we have a pretty random question for Batman from Mr. Jiffy. Okay. How much popcorn do you eat? Okay, random question. Well, normally I just eat popcorn whenever I watch movies and stuff. I mean, you could see me do that in the Lego Batman movie. For the record, I eat more popcorn than he does, so maybe that answers your question.
Well, at least you guys can eat popcorn. I have to take off my helmet to do that, which sucks, because I need my helmet to breathe.
I wish I could eat popcorn, but I can't, because I'm an Autobot. Popcorn is not my kind of treat. I am more into flesh. Good thing I never was made out of flesh. Alright, next up we have a question from Alexander Ernir Duxron for Thanos? Bro, Thanos is not part of the group. No, but I am part of your world. Oh. Now what's the question? If you could have a dinner with Donald Trump, what would you talk about? Trump. Why in the world would I want to go to dinner with him? Well, to answer your question, I would tell him that him being president is something I can't take seriously. To me, he is nothing but a meme. His politics bore me, along with his obsession about building walls. And apparently, somehow, he became president twice. How was he even allowed to do that? I thought you can only run for president once, and never again. Did this guy seriously need to ask questions about Trump? I mean, I don't know much about him, but I just don't trust that guy. Neither do I, which is why I prefer not to have dinner with him. Thank you for wasting my time answering a stupid question. Okay, new rule. No more questions about Trump. I can't handle it. Neither can Thanos. Okay, next question. We have a question for Emmett from Hayden Jones Media. Okay, what's the question? Have you ever watched or heard of a YouTuber called Violet First? No. Can't say I have. Why? Why specifically ask me? Am I that person's favorite character or something? I looked up that person's channel on YouTube. Don't know if it's the right one, but it's the first one I found. And so far, I can't seem to find the answer to your question when I'm looking at their videos. Yeah, I have no idea who this person is. Also, I would like to know why you're specifically asking me that question, because that could have been a question for all of us. Maybe he's just trying to be original. I mean, so far, me, Macney, and Batman were the only ones who got solo questions, so maybe he's just trying to ask someone else a solo question for a change, with a bit of a random question. I mean, I guess that's creative, if that's the case. Alright, last question. It's another one from Connor, for me. And the question is, what is my top 5 favorite live-action Batman movie villains? Okay, so, my top 5 favorite live-action Batman villains are Danny DeVito's the Penguin, Heath Ledger's the Joker, Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face, Tom Hardy's Bane, and Jim Carrey's the Riddler. Yeah, I know, Batman Forever is very flawed, kind of overrated, but Jim Carrey was the best part of it. What about the Riddler from the newer Batman film from 2022? I haven't seen that one yet, but I will when the time comes. What about the Joker from 2019, that movie? I did see that film recently. Not a fan. Okay. Anyways, that will be it for this Q&A episode. Thank you guys for all the questions you asked. I hope you enjoyed. And when we hit 300 subscribers, we will do this again. And hopefully you guys can come up with questions for the rest of us as well. Don't listen to him. He just wants more attention, since, he doesn't really have a lot of screen time in the films he was in. What did you say? Oh, nothing. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like. But if you like this channel, please subscribe. See you next time.